Hey, Queen. Is your greatest fear in dating is the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being loved back, the fear of being hurt? So, in one of my latest polls, a lot of you answered that one of the biggest fears in dating is that you will not be loved back or that you fear abandonment. Kind of like you got really involved, you became really in love, and then he didn't reciprocate, right? So if this has been you, then this video is for you. And let me tell you, it's pretty good news in this video, and let me tell you why. Because it's a lot more simple than you think, and that people make it be normally, right? It's not such a mystery. So the reason why this ends up happening in the first place a lot of times is because you had a previous experience where you became so in love, so into the guy, and he just did not love you back the same way. And that caused trauma and caused a lot of fear going forward. So the way that I propose dating to you guys, my subscribers and whoever hasn't subscribed yet, is a way that protects you from all of that. Yeah? Why? Because you're not giving out your heart to any random stranger that tells you a few nice words. AKA, you're not going exclusive with some guy that said a few nice words. You're only going exclusive with someone that wants you for real, forever. And you know what for real means? For real means he wants you with all his being. He's giving you his assets. He's giving you his life's work to be exclusive with you. And that means a legal commitment. And that means marriage. Without a legal commitment, you're telling me that he's going to bat for you and your unborn child? The answer is no. The answer is no, because there was no intention about it. Marriage is a declared intention that he loves you not only with his words, no, with his actions and all that he is, all that he worked for. Okay? So it's very simple, girls, queens. If you are a queen, you don't allow any of this stupidity of like being heartbroken and being abandoned. Like, what the fuck, man? That's not for queens. That's for a little girl that was an amateur, that did not know how to handle herself. But you're not that anymore. Now you know better. And when you have high standards, and high standards is not like blah, 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 like you're taking me to a nice restaurant. No. High standard means that you're not giving yourself out in any way, shape, or form, exclusively or non-exclusively, to anyone who hasn't given you a ring and asked you for marriage. Yeah, that's high standards. Not like you're giving me an expensive gift or you're taking me on proper dates. Like, I mean, that's so like entry level basic. Like, obviously you need that. But, let's talk about the real thing. So when you have high standards, high requirements for entry into your heart, into your everything, okay? You're protecting yourself, like what you give out, like your involvement, your emotions. When you're not giving free sex away, you're not initiating the pair bonding. When you're not spending too much time with the one guy, aka when you're not doing this whole boyfriend nonsense, you're not going to be initiating the pair bonding mechanism, which is like the biological way that you feel love. It's not love, okay? It's infatuation. It's the start of pair bonding. It's your hormones, right? So when you have those high standards, you're not falling for men. What's happening is that men are courting you. And I've talked about first impressions in my channel a lot, but let me talk about that quickly again. It's very different when you met someone and you were giving it all up front, your time, your commitment, exclusivity, most of all your time. And with that, and your body, right? And then with that comes a huge involvement, emotional involvement on your end. Okay. So it's very different when you started giving all of that up front. The impression that a man has from you is completely different than if he met you, he was totally smitten by you and really impressed by you to the point where he immediately saw you as wife material or as the type of girl he wants to marry, right? And then he upfront told you, not only told you, but showed you his intentions of continuing to date you seriously and, you know, and you didn't give anything. So when he gave all of his intention and he was totally smitten by you, if he's not totally smitten by you, next. It's not like that's going to change over time. No, you don't convince them. Next. You're looking for a man that is crazy about you from the start, from day one. Kind of like he saw you and he's like, she's the one. My story was like that. And the story of the best marriages out there are like that, where the man was totally smitten from the first moment. Okay? So look for that, because if you're not getting that, it's a next. Why? Because again, you can't convince him. And you can, spend freaking decades and that's not going to change. So, what was I saying? The outcomes are completely different in these two different scenarios. I have plenty of videos that talk about this. So, when you go for the scenario that is safe for you, good for you, adequate for you, which is when the man is crazy about you. And again, if within 2-3 months, it's not super clear to you where this is going, I mean, freaking next, right? If he doesn't want to marry you within 2 or 3 months, like express his intention, his desire of doing that, don't waste your time. Why would you want that? So, men are, when they're smitten with you, up front, when they had that first impression and feeling about you, they don't just dump you. They don't just, fall out of love, or there's also another factor that is called respect. So if you have commanded respect along with all these first impressions, how is this going to backfire? How? Because these are the relationships and the marriages that are the strongest and the best stories out there. So you're not going to be abandoned. You're not going to be not loved back. When you have a fear of not being loved back in the same way that you're loving, oh my God. Oh my goodness, sorry. I know some don't like that. Who cares though? What was I saying? Oh my gosh. It's a pregnancy brain again. When you, Jesus, what was I saying? Um, Christ. Bottom line is, there's no way on earth that you're going to be heartbroken when you have the men treat you a certain way, invest in you, and you're not giving that. But whenever you become heartbroken, whenever that situation does happen where he didn't love you back the same way you wanted, is when you gave it all for free up front. That's when it backfired. That's when it will backfire. That's when, yeah, you're going to be hit with a knife in the back if you give it all up front, right? If you're like auditioning and waiting for him to fall in love with you, by being his girlfriend for a year and 2 and 3, 4, 5, when you're there waiting and you are giving it all, giving free sex, because remember, the free sex or all kinds of it makes you pair bond. It makes you fall in love physically, right? So long you don't give your heart out to someone that is not legally wanting to be with you forever, you're not going to run into this. So there's no reason to fear. The only times that you would fear is when you're out in the wild, like a headless chicken, without any form of code of conduct, without any boundaries, without any requirements. And then you gave it all, and now you're heartbroken. So there's no reason to fear. There's really not when you are contained, when you are protected. And I'm not saying guarded. I'm not saying that. Completely different things. To be guarded and to protect yourself, completely different. Guarded is when you present yourself at a date with this attitude, closed heart attitude. I'm not telling you to do that. In fact, the one thing you need to be doing when you're out dating is have an open heart. And we talk about all of this in my one-on-one, rotational dating coaching. And it will be on my course whenever I'm able to finish it. What it means to have an open heart and all of these things, right? But open heart, where you're not giving it away. You're not giving it to someone. Your feelings, your time, your energies, all of that, you're not giving it. You are going out dating. Dating is not giving all this stuff away. Especially when you are dating multiple people, you won't run into the situation of investing emotionally in these men. You're literally getting to know them to a degree, but they are presenting to you why you should spend your time, like why they should be a candidate for you. So I hope you get the gist. And I really hope you look at this video a few times or meditate or ponder on this, because this is really the key to not suffer any abandonment or not overinvest and have it backfire, not being loved back. This is really the key. When you only give your heart to someone who has not only earned it, but has shown you he's there to give it all to you in every way, shape, or form, particularly legally. Particularly. Yeah? Because men, what they value the most is all that they've worked for in their entire lives. And that's what it comes down to. So, anyway, let me know in the comments if this resonates, if it makes sense to you. And I'll see you on the next. Bye.